Hello, and welcome to Quality Rated Portfolio Standard 3 webinar. This webinar is being presented to assist you in independently completing Standard 3 of the Quality Rated Portfolio. To access Standard 3, you'll need to log into your Quality Rated account and open your current portfolio. In the brown banner at the bottom of the website, you can access additional portfolio resources by clicking QR Portfolio. For Standard 3, Quality Rated provides you with a flow chart that can help you determine what Strengthen and Families training should be taken in this assessment timeframe. Standard 3 of the portfolio focuses on the importance of partnering with families in order to improve child outcomes. To support this partnership, Georgia uses the Strengthen and Families framework to assist with building the connection between programs, families, and the community. As an early childhood professional, you play a key role in bridging the connection between your program, families, and the community so that children can be provided with the best outcomes possible. When you open your portfolio and click on Standard 3, you will see a drop-down menu with the different sections for the standard. The first section is Strengthen and Families training that staff will complete and submit a certificate of completion through their GAPDS profile. When you open Overview of 5 Protective Factors, you will see a link here that will take you to where the Georgia Strengthen and Families trainings are housed on the Pro Solutions website. Please note that it is very important you use this link to ensure you are accessing the correct training options. If you are a child care director, please ensure you have shared this link with your staff. Because this page provides you information and no actions have to be completed here, when you are ready, you can check the box at the bottom of the page to mark this section complete. When you click the Pro Solutions Strengthen and Families link, you will see the following training menu. Here you can see a list of the available courses, and it's recommended that you complete the training in this order, but do not take all of them at one time, as it is required that you take a new Strengthen and Families training each reassessment year. If you are unsure of what training to take, you can use the Strengthen and Families flowchart as referenced at the beginning of the video. Quality Rated also accepts trainings that cover any of the additional protective factors. To access these trainings, please go to Georgia PDS, click the training drop-down menu, click Find Schedule Training Sessions, and use the search engine to locate your desired training. Here you can see a list of the provided Strengthen and Families trainings. Here is the Standard 3 section of the rubric. You can see points will be awarded based on the percentage of staff, as listed in Standard 1, that have completed Strengthen and Families training. Verification for completed trainings will be based on what has been entered and verified by Georgia PDS at the time of portfolio submission. The next section of Standard 3 is the Family Engagement Self-Assessment. This self-assessment covers the following 4 protective factors. When you are ready to complete the self-assessment, you want to click the green Access Self-Assessment form. You'll read each protective factor description and provide a response based off of where your program is at this time. Here you can see the available responses. If you would like, you can enter comments, examples, or evidence into the comment box. However, this is not required. As you go through each statement, if you find one that you feel like would be an area your program could improve, you want to make sure you check the Include an Improvement Plan box so that this information can be used when you get to the Family Engagement Improvement Plan section. Please know that this is a self-assessment. Your responses to the assessment will not be graded and do not impact your portfolio score. Here is an example of what the self-assessment contains. As you can see, at the top, the protective factor the information is covering will be listed, and this is a drop-down menu so that you can move through different protective factors. Here are examples of the statements and responses, and an example of the include an improvement plan box that will be at the bottom of each statement. Again, as you're reading a statement, if you feel like this is an area where your program could grow, you want to check include an improvement plan. At any point as you're completing the self-assessment, you can click the Save button. This will help you keep your responses if you get interrupted or need to step away. Once you've completed a page, you can click Save and Continue to go to the next section. Again, here's an example in a different protective factor of a statement and response. And here you can see where someone has selected include an improvement plan. Once you reach the last protective factor and have completed this page, at the bottom you will see that instead of save and continue, you now have a submit button. So once you're ready to submit your self-assessment, you will click this button and it will take you back to the home screen for the self-assessment. When you return here, you want to make sure that you check the box that indicates this section is complete. This step is very important as you cannot proceed with goals until you have marked this section complete. The next section is the Family Engagement Improvement Plans or goals. To complete improvement plans, you want to click Add Improvement Plan. When the improvement plan section opens, you'll see here you have a drop down where you can select the different protective factors. If you see that your list is short or a protective factor is missing, you can always go back to the self-assessment to check that section to ensure that you check the include an improvement plan box for a practice that you want to include in this section. Once you have selected a protective factor, you then can select a goal. This will be based off of how many different sections you checked to include in your improvement plan. So if you just picked one practice that you wanted to write a goal on, that will be listed there. Or if you picked several for that protective factors, all of those will be listed there. You can select them to read them a little further. And if you choose that that's not the goal you want to work on, you can choose a different goal in that list. If you only have one goal and you decide that that's not really where your program is headed at this time, you can go back to the self-assessment and choose a different goal or a different area you would like to work on in this protective factor. Once you have selected your goal, you want to fill in these sections with what needs to happen in order to achieve that goal, who is taking responsibility for that, and how you'll know when you've successfully completed that goal. You'll want to select a start date for your goal, and if you'd like, you can also give yourself a completion date. If you don't at this time have an anticipated completion date, you can leave this blank and it will just be an ongoing goal. The last section are what are some results you expect to see based on this effort in your program. Once you have completed all of these sections, you can click Save. Here you can see where goals have been completed and how that will appear on your screen. Again, just so you can see this, if you do not select an end date, it will just say ongoing, which is perfectly fine to do. You do have to complete at least one goal. However, you can write as many as you would like in this section. Once you have completed the goals, you want to click the green box at the bottom to mark that this section has been completed. For this section of the rubric, you can see that points will be awarded based on the number of goals provided and how many protective factors are covered in these goals. Again, you're welcome to write as many goals as you see beneficial and meaningful for your program. The minimal is 1. However, again, you can write 4 or more. The last section of Standard 3 is Family Engagement Written Evidence. In this section, you will be provided 5 uploads to share evidence of policies, practices, and/or procedures your program currently has in place to support family engagement. To provide this information, click Upload Evidence, select the file, the appropriate type of evidence it would represent based off of a drop-down menu you're provided, and a description if needed. Documents must be in a specific format in order to be uploaded in the portfolio. We highly recommend you use PDF. Remember that if you're uploading information from your program's handbook, we encourage you to highlight or copy the information into one document so the assessors can easily view the provided information. Once you have completed this section, you'll check the box to indicate that it is complete. Here is the rubric you will see with the different criteria that is needed for this section of the portfolio. At the 2-point level, you're providing evidence of policies and practices you have in place addressing a conclusion, confidentiality of children's records, and family engagement. You can see here at the bottom of the rubric, they give you some guidance as to what could be included, how you could show this practice in your program, what evidence would be acceptable to upload for this. If you're able to provide this information for your program, then you can move on to the next section. So here you've completed the information above, and in addition to that, you also have policies and practices that promote healthy transition as children transition from one room or setting to another, and you're offering family conferences at least twice a year. Again, this gives you evidence at the bottom of how you can demonstrate this information. So policies you have in place in your handbook, other ways that you incorporate that practice into your program, and then evidence that you provide family conferences twice a year. If you're able to demonstrate this information in your program and provide this evidence, then you can move to the last section. So in addition to the evidence provided above, you would also want to provide evidence that proves that your program is strengthening family connections and also giving families an opportunity to provide ongoing input or provide family voice in quality improvement efforts of the program. So again, it gives you an idea of different pieces of evidence that you could gather and upload to demonstrate this practice in your program. The Child Care Resource and Referral can also provide you with a checklist to track your progress in each standard. Here you can see an example of the Standard 3 section of the checklist. If you do not already have a copy of this resource, please contact your coach. Thank you for taking the time to review this information for Standard 3 of the Quality Rated Portfolio. If you have any questions, please reach out to your coach for further consultation.